Urzinca Songs Reaction. This is America's Devil Boats, PT boats, by channel The Federation. PT boats, also known as patrol torpedo boats, are the most underrated ships of World War II. Okay. Mosquito boats. How many names these things have? They were the fastest, pound for pound, most heavily armed naval vessels of World War II. Okay. Torpedo boats. Isn't that those small boats that just like fast torpedoes and run away or something, right? I think I remember that from somewhere. Where did I remember that from? I don't know. But yeah, this is a Federation videos. It's about World War II, so it's gonna be awesome. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to subscribe, so you know that way I know which type of videos to react to more, and you'll be helping this channel by helping the algorithm and things. If you haven't seen other Federation reactions that I did, check out the link in the description or in the end of the video end card. And yeah, that's what it.
Today we're talking about PT boats. Ladies and gentlemen, they are the fastest and pound-for-pound most heavily armed naval vessels of World War II. Speaking of heavily armed, this video is brought to you by the Sonoran Desert Institute, the best way to heavily arm yourself with an education in gunsmithing and firearm technology. They offer both online and hands-on training, allowing you to earn your certificate in gunsmithing or even up to your associate's degree in firearm technology. And best of all, both of those programs are pre-approved to accept most VA benefits. So whether you're looking to start your career or just expand your education, be sure to check out sdi.edu. Alright, back to the boats. PT stands for Patrol Torpedo. And unfortunately, many of you would probably only recognize these boats as the small one from the Battleship board game. I bet you can all tell me that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell though, can't you? What you don't realize is that small piece of molded plastic represents the boats credited with downing the first enemy plane at Pearl Harbor. And from that moment on, they would continue to engage the enemy in close naval warfare more frequently than any other type of ship or crew in World War II. Which is made even more impressive when I tell you that the Battleship board game pieces are made nowhere near to scale. Liar! The PT boats are much, much smaller. Crewed by only 12 men, they were 72 to 81 feet in length and only weighed approximately 50 tons.
Okay. What? Are they the size of like what, schooner? Is they call that like? Obviously, I know from only boat thing I know is like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, so it's like schooner size or something. Is that what it is?
They are essentially just large speedboats covered in guns. To put that into perspective, the world's biggest shitty submarine, the Yamato, weighed approximately 65,000 tons, meaning that it was quite literally 1,300 times larger than a PT boat if you go by weight. And large capital ships like the Yamato were much more scared of them than they were of it. These boats were so fast they were almost untouchable. They were equipped with 3 12-cylinder airplane engines that could burn up to 500 gallons of high-octane gasoline an hour, making them arguably the fastest naval vessels used in World War II. Buh! You know the Soviets had an even faster boat. It was called the G5. Buh. Yeah, well, first of all, that was a prototype that wasn't widely used. And second of all, I'll start giving a shit as soon as you can find a Soviet electrician that's willing to make a video about it. Oh, wait. Anyways, American PT boats, fast as fuck. And they were absolutely armed to the teeth. The earliest models from the factory came with 2 dual 50 caliber turrets, 4 Mark 8 torpedoes, a 20mm anti-aircraft cannon, as well as some miscellaneous 30 caliber Lewis and or Browning machine guns. And I say from the factory because, well, some modifications.
Look at this shit. I love the stance. Look at the average, just like, you know, just like, oh, where you are, where you are. The guns, there's a gun here, there's a gun there. I'm pretty sure that's also one of the guns.
Some modifications get made along the way.
Everybody gets
we'll
a gun.
We'll get into that in a minute. I'm forgetting something though. Oh, yeah, they're made out of fucking wood too. Yeah, the frame and hull are both made out of mahogany.
Smells of rich mahogany.
I'm trying to tell you, they basically LS swapped the fucking Mayflower and covered it in machine guns and then took it into battle against the largest metal monsters the world has ever seen. They would ambush enemy ships at night, fire all their torpedoes, and take off before the enemy.
Americans are known for it, right? Even in cars. Okay, why is this so big? What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, even in the cars, like Corvette is made out of plastic, right? In the world of metal cars, Charlotte just is a fuck, it will make car out of plastic. It's gonna be lighter. There you go.
Enemy even had a chance to retaliate. And they were so effective at this, the enemy referred to them as devil boats, or the American Mosquito Fleet. And as I'm sure you can imagine, the men that did that were fucking gangsters. These are the forefathers of what would eventually become SWIC. They were special operations before that was actually a thing. They did any and every mission that was deemed impossible or dangerous. They smuggled General MacArthur out of the Philippines through enemy-held water. On D-Day, they went out before the U-boats and used their 50 caliber turrets to shoot at floating mines so that the U-boats didn't didn't hit them. Their beverage of choice was known as torpedo juice. They would take the fuel out of self-propelled torpedoes, distill it, and then filter it through a fucking loaf of bread, and then drink it. So when I tell you these men made some modifications of their own,
Can you fucking do that? Come on, man. How are the kidney didn't fail? What the fuck? They just did this shit like fuck it, like without even worrying. I mean, today's world, like with the Google and shit, people Google shit all the time, right? Even like 30 years before, it's like, okay, should I ask a doctor? People are just doing this shit without worrying, like, okay, in World War II. I'm guessing they're just like, imagine, fuck it, we're gonna die tomorrow anyway.
to the boats, it probably shouldn't surprise you. First of all, American torpedoes in World War II had intercourse with a partial vacuum. They fucking sucked. The enemy figured out that if they only transported their supplies via barge through shallow waters, most of the American ships would not be able to get to them. And the ones that could wouldn't be able to use torpedoes because barges don't go deep enough into the water. So if you did fire a torpedo at a barge, it would just go right underneath. And that is when the PT crews said, hold my torpedo juice and watch this shit. They went full freedom pirate. They just started stealing everything. Sorry, I mean strategically transferring equipment to alternate locations. Granted, every boat was different based on what the crew was able to tactically acquire. Some of these boats had mortars for that naval Yeetus Deletus, 37mm anti-aircraft cannons, 40mm Bofors. Some of them had as many as 4 dual 50 caliber turrets, and even M50 rocket launchers. PT Boat 109 famously acquired a 37mm M3 anti-tank gun from the Army and mounted it to their boat. Also worth mentioning, that very same PT Boat 109 at that time was under the command of a very young lieutenant by the name of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. If that doesn't ring a bell, you might know him as JFK, the 35th President of the United States of America. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, one of the most iconic and well-known presidents in American history was a straight-up freedom pirate, drinking torpedo juice and yoinking anti-tank guns from the Army. How's the quote go? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what me and the boys are about to do to you for our country. The 37mm anti-tank round was...
Like, how was JFK, left finger? That's just like after all that shit. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill everything. How was he not that after all this, right? He was just still like, okay, let's chill out, let's be liberal and everything. How was he that?
Was actually so effective that they decided to yoink an auto cannon off of a P-39 fighter plane and use that instead. And that proved to be so effective that they started adding them at the factory. And using it, they were credited with sinking over 23,000 tons of vital enemy supplies. I'm trying to tell you the freedom pirates were fucking the enemy supply lines harder than Can I say that yet? You guys know what I meant. Moving on. In conclusion, the PT boats of World War II were wooden crafts crewed by iron men, and to this day, I think they are the most underappreciated part of naval warfare in World War II. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Best way to support the channel is go get some merch.
Underappreciated. It's like criminally underappreciated if it's everything he said it was, right? Even the JFK was one, okay. Devil boats, basically just fucking shit up. It's like any video game you play, like, I don't know, Just Cause or... what was it, like White Gold? I remember that game. I think, yeah. Basically, you just take small boats, right? Climb Far Cry? I'm pretty sure also Far Cry. I don't know. I'm confused. Far Cry? Just Far Cry boats? Basically something like that, right? How in Far Cry you take Jeep with a 50 caliber machine gun, right? You go to just like climb onto like machine gun, just fuck shit up. Same thing in Just Cause. Similar that. Small boats with a lot of weapons. There you go. Of course, it's gonna go all the way, right? And also like, people who like who like manning that, drinking all that shit for, okay, torpedo juice or whatever that is. Okay, how the fuck that didn't kill kidneys? That's my question. Right, well, that was America's Devil Boats, PT Boats, watching on the Federation. If you like American, don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time.